Product design and revision. Parametric drafting leads itself to product design and revision. In this case, we can use this as an example of the process of constraining a drawing. Here we have an unconstrained drawing. The drawings have gaps between them. There's nothing holding the distances or the relationships between them. And here we have our next level where we have a coincident geometric constraints are added so that these lines are glued to the other lines together at these intersections. So all these lines are glued, and when I grab a hold of one and move it, you'll see that the object is stretched. It holds together. Next, we add some geometric constraints. Geometric constraints are like, parallel, perpendicular, horizontal, parallel here. So that means then when we make a change, for example, I grab onto this one up here and I stretch it, that means this stays horizontal and these two stay parallel. If I make a different change, for example, I change this one and I change it over here, you'll see that these stay parallel to each other. And so these are automatically changed by the geometric constraints. When we add dimensional constraints, we add these dimensional constraints, and we're going to show all those dimensional constraints now. You'll see that we have the geometric constraints with the geometric constraints. So we're telling it to hold certain distances. So I can come here and say, okay, I want to change this 3 and I want to change it to say 2.5, and I'm going to hit enter. And now it changes to 2.5, but it keeps everything else as far as parallel and perpendicular tied to each other. So it works really well for having part geometry in which we know certain things are going to hold in its condition for that particular product. And so we basically have 4 levels. One is unconstrained, one is having coincidence constraints apply, which are glued together at the corners. The next one is having geometric constraints, which will have parallel, perpendicular, a horizontal, and a fixed constraint. And then we add geometric constraints to that, and that geometrically ties it by numbers or values to certain sizes. So we have the 4 levels that allows us to constrain our product design and revisions.